Hey, hi guys. So let's start today's session for like knowing what is the difference between SAP, PIPO, and CPI. So yesterday we talked about many things. What are the different versions and the history of it? Today let's start with what is the difference in PIPO and our CPI, that is a cloud integration. So you may be feeling like it's a complete overhaul of SAP middleware for every 3 days, right? Ever wondered what is the difference between XI PIPO? Well, you are not alone. There have been major changes to SAP middleware in its lifetime, and from the first introduction of XI in 2002, SAP has completely changed the architecture for major version upgrades. Okay, so integration consultants, if you are a consultant, you have to not just keep up with the PIPO technology architecture, but also be ready to deal with hundred of new abbreviations that are coming in your way, like IE, ISIR, ESR, and all that stuff. So don't worry. And I'm not trying to confuse you more for these abbreviations. Not only will we compare the different versions here in this session for XI, PI, PO, and CPI, and also we will compare the new components of PO and how the new architectures work for the Java one. Okay. Moreover, we will talk about the features of SAP Integration Suite and SAP CPI. Okay. For us to understand the difference between XI, PI, PO, first need to take a look at the main functionalities of middleware. Okay. So here is a uh, clear-cut picture of what is middleware. So some of you may be really new to what is middleware. So it is a connectivity which has a protocol to use, like which protocol to use SAP, when you're connecting to the client, right? So whether it is SOAP, FTP, or whatever it is, and how you are routing the messages, whether there are multiple receivers, whether they are condition based routing, whether there are any transformation that is done for the mapping is required, or XSLT or anything, right? So for the text to XML or XML to text, like that. Then runtime messages monitoring and security. You need not to like there are critical messages like security related or anything like that you don't want to miss, right? So message monitoring and security is one part of it. Then workflow BPM, how to execute a series of steps, integration scenarios with the purchase order approval processes, all those things comes under middleware. SAP has been able to cover all these areas successfully with PIPO middleware solutions. And how that is done, let's have a quick review of SAP middleware versions that we have seen in our yesterday's slide. So XI is 2.0, 3.0. These are the versions. Then PI versions, PI with AEX, and then PO, right? So process orchestration. To understand the difference between these versions, let's look at the major architectural changes now. Okay, so SAP Exchange XI architecture works like Exchange infrastructure has ABAP plus Java stack, and then it works on adapter engines and integration engines, and along with that there are business process engines as well. So adapter engine is for connectivity, integration engines are for routing and transformation, and BPM is for business process management. Okay, so SAP Exchange infrastructure contains adapter engine, i.e. business process BP. It was installed due to dual stack in NetWeaver installation with ABAP and Java stack. So this is overall architecture. AE here, as name suggests, the main purpose of this is to the component was to provide connectivity functionality. Okay, provides the capability of talking to the different communication protocol using different adapters. IE, on other hand, was responsible for transformation and routing of the messages. So there can be changes to the message that we are receiving while sending to the target. So runtime, the message communication happens, and XI heavily. It's a heavy message processing was done there in IE. Okay, and then each message was routed, transformed, executed to that by the component. BPE, business process engine, executes cross-component business process management workflow, and it is based on BPEL, so that is business process execution language, and it requires the dual stack installation to in the runtime environment. Okay, now what is the drawbacks of this and the challenges for XI are, one of the major drawbacks is XI is inefficient in performance due to back and forth communication between components, and due to dual stack architecture also it is bulkier. Okay, on other hand, let's see the process. process integration, right? So PI architectural overview. Uh, the like with SAP introducing advanced adapter engines, PI was able to process messages end to end without IE. So here, uh, you see there is a difference in the architecture. This reduces the cross communication between components and the improved the performance. So PI, it's again the dual stack. It has advanced adapter engine, integration engine, routing and transformation, adapter engines, and business process. So here AAE takes care of IN. So it has a capability to handle routing, transformation, and connectivity. So you see here in between IE and AE that we had is all three taken care by our AAE. So advanced adapters engines are connecting, having a connectivity which they here segregated into different components in XI, like ICO was introduced for design time instead of XI objects, and those changes are done here. And receiver determination and receiver agreement was also made possible in AAE. Okay, without IE is required, requiring other runtime. Then there is also dual stack still present here. Persistence was eliminated since ICO scenarios were executed independently by AS Java. Okay, what are the drawbacks now here in PI? Although PI installation with AE was enhanced in the performance in comparison to XI, it still improvement was needed to extend the connectivity and performance. So it was still lacking some performance related, and it could only handle a limited number of connections, and still required IE at runtime for development and administrative purpose. Plus, the INIF adapters was not available in AE. Also, earlier version did not include IDOC and HTTP adapters since they belong to ABAP stack. Moreover, BPE still required. Okay, so dual stack requirement was still there for runtime. Notice, although the performance was improved, XI, the SAP couldn't completely decouple the need of IE. Okay, so it was still there. So B2B add-on. Now, B2B add-on was also introduced to PI. Um, with the set of like the 7.1 version came in with the B2B protocol adapters, converting the modules and B2B infrastructure services related IDE integrations for most of the time. Now, AEX Advanced Adapter Engine extended. It was extended version of AAE, which is AEX, and process integration was Java only here, and all the three AEX related connectivity routing transformation was done. With finally PI 7.3 version, 3.0 version, SAP eliminated the need of IE and introduced an AEX in the single engine, which included the ESB. So enterprise service bus was integrated, and integration directory and AE compatibilities. Okay, so with AEX, PI become a Java AS only integration installation solution, completely decoupled from the ABAP stack. And 7.PI 7.3 introduced IDOC AE adapters, and which could run on Java. So complete removal of ABAP stack is a major change in SAP PI architecture. What can be the drawbacks? Uh, so here, so the drawbacks are Uh, although PI with AX improved performance by completely decoupling the ABAP stack, and the need for integration engine is removed, right? So it did not include business process management capabilities. So that is missing here, right? So now let's talk about SAP process orchestration. Process orchestration architecture, as you see, PO process architecture again is Java only, and it has new business process management and BRM, so business rule management as well, along with AEX. So here is the overall architecture. To overcome all these challenges with PI, SAP released process orchestration like only with Java installation, and yes, no ABAP stack installation was available for PO 731. Plus, with the new PO version, SAP has added fully functional NetWeaver business process management and the business rule management, which is fully executable on Java. And hence, PO is a combination of PI with AEX. Now, business process management is included, BRM is included, and which only runs on Java. What is new NWBPM? Unlike CC and NWBPM, runs on Java-based environment called CE, composite environment. Also, it uses BPMN notation, so business process model notation language, and the CCBPM, it was using business process execution language. And although the other one was design time was on ABAP stack, here we are you require Eclipse based for this tool. Even if you have extensive experience in CCBPM, you need to start learning this new tool from scratch, just because it is based on Eclipse. BRM rule management contains modeling capabilities, targeting business analyst. Rules are owned by LOB, but not by IT. Okay. What is the next? Moving on. What is SAP Integration Suite and CPI? What is the difference between that? So IS and the CPI. Integration Suite was formerly known as SAP Cloud Platform Integration Suite. SAP Integration Suite is a platform as a service offering for from SAP. Organizations can acquire SAP integration suites features on the subscription model. Since the integration platform services can be accessed via the internet, it is greatly reduced as the time implementation of the cost for hardware and IT resources. Now, following are the main features of SAP integration suite: cloud integration, open connectors, uh, API management, event mesh, integration advisor. So all these are present. So CPI is not a newer version of PO, it is a new integration platform itself and provided by the SAP to address the cloud-based integration. So cloud integration, when you call about what is cloud integration, it features provide a platform to build, deploy, and manage end-to-end integration scenarios in cloud to cloud or cloud to on-prem or on-prem to on-prem domains. Usually, it is not recommended to use for on-prem to on-prem, but still it has those capabilities. Additionally, SAP has provided more than 2000 plus pre-built integration flows from A to A, B2B, B2G processes that can be deployed with the minimum deployment efforts. It uses open connectors capability of SAP integration suite. Standardize the connectivity to third-party cloud application. SAP has provided more than 160 plus pre-built connectors to non-SAP cloud applications such as Shopify, ADP, Sales Cloud, etc. Developers can easily reuse those pre-built connectors to establish a connection between third-party cloud application. So you can find a full list on their website. API management is the feature that provides a platform to build, analyze, publish, and monetize the APIs. Event Mesh is it uses event-driven architecture for integration. It greatly reduces having to have a peer-to-peer connection. Organization has the option to publish their business events in data lake or data queue for multiple data receivers to consume. Uh, you can read more on the SAP websites for on all this architecture. So yeah, here I conclude the differences between all the versions and SAP PO. So just to summarize everything, whatever we have talked about today is SAP PO contains all the functionality of PI plus BPM and BRM in a single Java stack. I hope you were able to visualize the evolution of SAP middleware by looking all the history of the changes to the SAP and the middleware architecture from since from when it began from XI to then PI and then to PO. And you can see the reasoning behind these changes. Additionally, we will be discussing more features of the CPI in future. So stay tuned and thank you.